Hi, everybody. Bill Gallagher. Here's another conversation about something leaders need to do to get much better at getting commitment and action, getting yes more often. Yes, commitment and action. How do you get that more often? One of the big things that we have to deal with is rejection, getting no, right? Even the expectation of no can throw us off and get more no's. So how do we get more yeses and less no's? I have some interesting things to share with you on that. Consider some of these examples. Michael Jordan, maybe the most famous, best basketball player ever, cut from his high school basketball team. At 5'11", he was told that he was too short, that he didn't have the skills or drive to succeed. Steve Jobs, we've talked about him before, the famous founder and co-founder and CEO of Apple Computer, who took it through things, was so combative, had such poor people skills that he was fired from the company in 1985, and it was really hard for him emotionally, but he clawed his way back from that and he turned it around. Jack Canfield, best-selling author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, was rejected by 144 publishers. But if he'd stopped at 10 or 100, as many of us would, millions and millions of people would not have benefited from his work and his wisdom. His books have now sold over 500 million copies around the world. Jack Ma, co-founder and former chairman of Alibaba Group, rejected again and again from schools and colleges and companies, rejected again and again, but he went on to found Alibaba, and at one point was worth over $30 billion. Consider in a whole other realm, Vincent van Gogh, one of the most famous and influential Western artists, having created over 2,000 works of art in his lifetime. Completely unsuccessful commercially, but he kept creating his art that he was compelled to do. He was considered a madman and a failure, and he committed suicide by the age of 37. But Van Gogh's works are among the most expensive today, and there's a whole museum in his name, right? He didn't give up. He gave up on life, I will admit, but he painted his way through it, and that was his life's work and his legacy. What happens when most of us get rejected? What do we do with no most of the time? Are we creative and playful with no? No, we're not. We take it personally. We get upset. We get triggered. In fact, our expectation of no keeps us from even trying sometimes. Our expectation of no colors things when we go through the motion. If you spend all of your time worrying about getting a no on something, you either won't even try, or you'll try in such a mediocre way that you screw it up. You remove any doubt. So if you're expecting a no, the best thing to do is to try to create some other scenarios where you might get yes, to try to create some other scenarios where you might get a maybe, and to get to a place where you can be playful with it, to work with no until you can be with no and not get stopped by it, where you can be playful and engaging even in the face of no, and until you get that final yes. So that is really the secret, is to deal with yourself about no, to be able to be playful and powerful and effective in an action, even when you're expecting a no or when you get a no, so that you can keep doing what you've got to do at this point of your life, with your business, with your project, your product, whatever it is that you're working on. That's the key. And one of the most important things that we can do is figure out how to handle rejection and even the anticipation of rejection, so that we're powerful in the face of that. My name is Bill Gallagher, scaling coach, host of this Scaling Up Business podcast. Our show comes to you every week, at least, with something to deal with growing and scaling your business. I hope it's been helpful. We'll talk to you again next time. Thanks again. Keep scaling up. Like it, subscribe, get notifications so you get them. You don't miss a one of them. We'll talk to you soon. Keep scaling.